Hello and welcome to this week's vlog. Today is Saturday, I'm just getting ready for the day and I wanted to start the vlog by just raving about a product that I have rekindled my love for, and that's the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturiser, the oil-free one, Natural Skin Perfector. This used to be my absolute holy grail product. About 3 or 4 years ago, it was like the only base that I wore for a very, very long time. And then I switched over to the Chanel Water Fresh tint. However, I've ran out of that and I'm in between shades and I just can't be dealing with mixing shades. I just want one bottle at the moment on the go. So had a look through some of the beauty bits that I said recently and I was sent this, and why did I ever stop using this? It is absolutely fantastic. It just adds the nicest glow to the skin, and it's got SPF in it, which the Chanel product does not have SPF in it. So if you don't really enjoy layering like SPF and then a base product over the top, this is actually a really good one. Also could work actually as a really good primer. I'm just going to put this down, do my blush. So yeah, as I said, today is Saturday and it feels like the first day that Dean and I have got together where the weather's good. We don't have any packing to do, we don't have any moving to do, we don't have any house stuff or any DIY stuff to do. We've literally got a day where we can just enjoy it. So we're going to go have a walk around the city, get some lunch, gonna have a look in some bookshops, got some general bits and pieces that I need to get, and just have a very wholesome day. That is the goal. Have a lovely wholesome day. And then this evening we are going round a friend's house because it is their birthday and we're going to have pasta and drinks. Although I'm doing dry January, so I might actually have a look for a nice alcohol-free spirit actually while we're in town. That's a good idea. So yeah, oh, something I want to show you actually. I got something great in the post, a pair of jeans. So the Weekday Voyage jeans, which in my opinion are just the perfect straight leg jean available on the high street, have been discontinued in the white colour. I don't know what Weekday are playing at because they are their most popular jean, I imagine. And surely white is probably one of the most popular colours. Completely discontinued them. They were on sale for ages for about £18 and I was like, but they were out of stock. So I was like, oh dear, what's going on here? Maybe they're having issues with getting the denim or something, and now they're just completely disappeared from the website. So I am a bit worried that that is the end of them. So I was digging around on Depop recently because, so basically the reason I wanted to buy an additional pair is because I shrunk my current pair. And they're just a little bit too cropped for kind of regular shoes. They're great for boots, but when I wear them with trainers and things like that, there's just a bit too much kind of like ankle on show. So I had to dig around on Depop and found a pair in a 26-30 with the idea that when I washed them, they would then shrink down slightly to the correct leg length and waist length because weekday jeans aren't pre-washed. That's why they shrink in the wash. However, it seems that the person before me has actually already washed them, so they fit me so perfectly. I'll show you when I get them on. I'm so chuffed. I think they were, I think I paid about £21 or £22 in total with the shipping, and they literally came next day. I was so pleased with this find. And voila, jeans on. They hit the tops of my shoes just perfectly, so these are going to be great for kind of like small heeled boots, which I will show you later on because I've got a new pair of tabby boots that are kind of like a mid-heel, and I tried them on with these jeans and they're just the perfect length for that kind of small mid-heel. So today's outfit, so I'm out of breath just because I ran up the stairs because I realised just as we were leaving the house I hadn't documented my outfit for you all. Top to bottom, Campbell Cole beanie, nothing written coat from last winter, Aussie bag in the sort of chestnutty colour. I think this is the medium, is it the medium peanut or medium brot? It's the medium size anyway of this style, and then I've just put on like a merino wool turtleneck and Adidas Sambas.
changes will come, the changes will come if you don't believe that change makes you strong. Just believe it, that change makes you strong. From change you'll be young again. Yes, you will be young again.
Right, I am home now, so you can kind of see my hair much better. Well, hopefully a lot better than when I was stood in the toilet at the hairdresser's. It was a very impromptu trip to the hairdresser's, may I add. This was not planned at all. On Sunday evening, my hairdresser posted on Instagram that she'd had a cancellation for Monday morning. And I thought, do you know what? I fancy a hair refresh. So swiftly took up that slot. And I think we can all agree, much, much blonder. But still with lots of my natural tone still left in, because I really don't want to get into that habit of having like a full head of bleach like I had quite a few years ago. The upkeep of that I found was really difficult, and I just found it difficult to keep my hair in good condition. So I don't think I will be bleaching it again anytime soon. I'm hoping this will last me quite a long time and I can just get away with toning it every few months. It looks very blonde in the viewfinder, very, very fresh. Obviously it's been freshly toned, so it always looks a lot brighter. I always think I much prefer the blonde when it's sort of like 4 weeks in, when the tone has slightly changed and it feels a bit more lived in. But I basically just said to her, let's go blonder. Let's take the blonder higher up, but let's keep it as beige as possible. So she toned it with some like a mixture of toners and just toned it as beige as she could. But it will wear off eventually, and it will kind of, I guess, go a little bit more warmer toned, I always feel, and a little bit darker. But yeah, this is the overall result. A very grey outfit for a very grey mood. Well, I lie, I'm not in a bad mood or anything like that, or feeling down. I just am lacking inspiration with outfits at the moment. It doesn't help that lots of my clothes are still sort of packed up. So I've just found myself wearing either head to toe black or head to toe grey, and that is the case today. Grey merino turtleneck from Uniqlo, grey like proper big slouchy tailored trousers from Cordera, Adidas Sambas in the black and brown colourway, my navy LFM coat that I've had for years and years. I wish they would reissue this coat because it's such a good dupe for the Ray one, and it's much better in size than the Ray one. And then Arquette hat, and then what bag? Oh, La Mer camera bag, that'll be the bag of choice today. And then gloves, because it's absolutely freezing out there.
We have practice twice a day for a full week, literally pushing our physical limits past what they are.
There is a difference between...
Oh, I can't wait for the clocks to change, and then the light in here will be so much nicer. While I wait for my hair to dry, I decided it'd be a great time to sit and talk about this rather large pile of books. This is an accumulation from the start of December. I used a lot of Christmas and New Year to get through all of the unread hardbacks that I've got, because I accidentally ordered a massive bulk of books, like secondhand books, online last year, and turns out they were all hardback. I didn't check to see if they were hard or paperback. So I ended up with all these hardbacks, which is fine, but they're quite difficult to travel with, aren't they? They don't fit in your bag, they're quite heavy. So I thought this is a great time to tackle them all while I'm sat at home. So in no particular order, I'm going to try and make this quite quick and concise, but obviously still give some helpful reflections on each of the books. Starting from the very top, we have Sweet Bean Paste. I did mention this book in a vlog at the start of December and how much I was enjoying it. I absolutely love this story. It is so heartwarming, it's so just delicious and just such a joy to read. It's the story of Sentaro, a guy who's had a bit of a troubled past. He's got a criminal record, his life isn't really going anywhere, he's got sort of failed dreams of becoming a writer, and he's ended up in a confectionery shop. And he meets an elderly woman called Toku, who's also had a bit of a troubled past, and he employs her in the confectionery shop, and it follows the journey of their friendship and how it flourishes. Just extremely heartwarming, sort of really centred around friendship and redemption. Beautiful. Loved this book. Thank you for that recommendation, Emma, and also thank you, Emma, for this recommendation. This is Winter in Sokcho. Very short book, I think it's about 150 pages, so it's quite a quick read, but it's also a beautiful read. So it's the story of a French-Korean woman who lives in Sokcho. She works in a hotel. Sokcho's a tourist town situated kind of quite close to the North-South Korea border. So everything's kind of closed up for winter, everything's very quiet, there's not really much going on in the town, and she works in a hotel, and one day a French cartoonist checks into the hotel. Very unusual character that doesn't really give much away, and he piques her interest and they sort of begin this quite bizarre relationship. It's a very eerie book, I think, because of where it's set, the time, the season in which it's set. It all just feels very sort of eerie and very unusual, but so beautifully written. The only thing I find a bit frustrating about books of this length is that you kind of don't really get the resolve that you're hoping for, or you don't kind of get it doesn't feel like it wraps up entirely, and often at the end there's just sort of a very sort of ambiguous, profound paragraph that you're meant to sort of like somehow unpack and understand all the metaphors, and I'm just often like, what does any of that mean? What did this story mean? But that didn't take anything away from the story. I did really enjoy it. I think just at the end I was a bit like, huh. Then we have The Maidens. I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads. But I gave it 4 stars because it gripped me, it was a page turner for me, and it distracted me, it stopped me from going on my phone. And if a book can do that, it normally gets quite a high rating from me. It's along the lines of that sort of dark academia thriller, someone's found dead, got to figure out who did it. It doesn't quite have the complexity that The Secret History has. I feel bad comparing it to that because I know so many books of that kind of dark academia genre get compared to The Secret History, but I think even somewhere on here that book is referenced. Yeah, it's on the back. The greatest campus novel since The Secret History. Might beg to differ. It's just really chaotic at points, and there's plot holes, and I was just a bit like, what is going on here? But I kept reading because I wanted to know what happened. Like I said, it did grip me enough. I think if you haven't read this and you're thinking about reading it, just take it for what it is. Just stick to the surface level analysis. Try not to go too deep with it. Otherwise, you might get a bit annoyed, there were some bits I was just like, just bypass that. Don't get annoyed about that. Just keep going. If you've read The Silent Patient, there is a very subtle, clever link to that book as well, which I really, really liked, and it made me wonder if there could be a crossover in a third novel where the two are even more combined. So yeah, overall, 4 stars from me. I did enjoy it. Then we have Bob Mortimer's autobiography, And Away. I'm not sure how kind of widely known Bob Mortimer is outside of the UK. In my eyes, he's an absolute national treasure. He's a comedian, a very funny one at that. He is just such a lovely, like, heartwarming, just very comforting kind of guy. So I grew up watching Shooting Stars, and I knew he had quite a big career prior to Shooting Stars, but I didn't really know too much about it, didn't really know how he met Vic Reeves, so it was really, really interesting hearing all about that. It centres around, he had a heart operation in 2015, so it centres around that quite a lot, and there's a lot of going back and forth in time, which I really enjoyed that format. And the biggest takeaway from this book is he talks often about sort of being put into situations where he didn't feel like himself, where he felt quite out of his depth, where he felt like he was having to be someone who he wasn't, because he is quite a sort of shy, quiet character. And at the very end of the book, he touches on how he's learned it's perfectly okay to be like that, to be the quiet one. And I just thought that was so beautiful. And I think potentially, because I read this around Christmas time, I think that the little passage at the very end is what I think really prompted me to then insert what I put in at the end of last week's vlog. Because it was so lovely to hear someone who's been on TV so much in such a huge spotlight to say something like that. So it was really beautiful to link that up to the feelings that I felt for so long as well. Absolutely beautiful, loved it, heartwarming, funny, laugh out loud. So much so that I bought the audiobook so that I can hear Bob tell the story and sing the songs and all that kind of thing. Moving on to Blood Orange. I think I gave this 3 stars on Goodreads. Mainly because I didn't like a single character, and I really didn't like how the female protagonist in this was portrayed. It's the kind of classic story of a career woman who can't juggle her career and kids and everything all at once, so she turns to alcohol and has an affair, and I just didn't like that at all. The husband is an absolute, he's horrible. Actually, everyone in the book is pretty horrible, but I kept reading it because I think it was a page turner. It gripped me enough. I wanted to know what happened to all of the characters in the end. I think if you are concentrating enough at the very beginning, you will quickly realise what is coming at the end. But I didn't concentrate at the beginning, so I didn't see it coming, and then I went back to the beginning and I was like, okay, the clue was there right at the start. Then the next book is a book that I didn't actually finish, but I still wanted to feature it because it's not that it was a bad book or anything. So it's called Crying in H Mart. It is a memoir, heavily centred around grief. And I think that's why I didn't finish it, because it felt like it wasn't the right time for me to read this book. There were parts where I almost felt like that they weren't even written to be read, that it was almost like she just needed to get it out. And I found it difficult at points. But it's so beautifully written. I think it is a book that I will come back to. I can see myself maybe in a different situation, maybe when I'm going through some immediate grief. This could be a book that I would come back to. But don't be put off by that. I think if that is something that sounds interesting to you, it centres a lot around food as well. There's lots of food memories and associations that are so beautifully written. Definitely give it a try. But I think, because I'm in this place where I feel really good and quite positive, this just felt like it came to me at the wrong time, basically. And then, last but not least, A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. I really enjoyed this, actually. I loved the slower pace of this, which is unusual because I usually like a quite fast-paced sort of thriller, but pleasantly surprised by this. I've not read The Girl on the Train, so I can't really say much about comparisons or anything like that, but overall, a great page turner, thoroughly enjoyed. Okay, book chat done. I am now going to head into the studio, but I'm going to go via the tailor because I've got 3 pairs of trousers that I am very eager to get sorted out. I don't have time, unfortunately, this morning to try them on and show you all of the individual things that I need adjusting, but I will just hold them up so you can kind of see what I am taking to the tailor. So the first is a pair of cream cotton trousers from James Street Co. I recently did a sponsored post with this brand, actually. Beautiful, beautiful clothing, and I was really pleased with how the images turned out. So if you saw that sponsored post and you commented on it or liked it, thank you very, very much, because I was really, really pleased with how everything looked. These trousers are beautiful. They're like a sort of pleated white cotton trouser with an elasticated waist, but they're far too long. Surprise, surprise. I did turn them up, but the turn-ups just look a bit too chunky, so I think I need a good sort of 2 to 3 inches taken off these. I still want them to have a slouchy fit, but there's just too much fabric at the bottom at the moment. And then second pair of trousers, these vintage wool brown trousers. In February's wardrobe wish list, I'm going to talk a bit more about vintage because I have recently discovered some really good curated vintage shops online that have just the kind of style that I've been looking for, finally sort of curated into one space. These in particular were from an Instagram shop called Sentaku, which is kind of frustrating because they don't have a website, so it means you have to shop through Instagram, and really have to have notifications on because everything sells really, really quickly. They do like 2 to 3 drops, no, maybe like 1 to 2 drops a month. Always really good trousers, lots of great suits, lots of really good knitwear, that really sort of like 90s minimal vibe, sometimes with quite a nice preppy vibe as well. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. It's just really difficult to actually get the pieces because they just go so quickly, because it's always such a good curation of pieces. And then the last pair is a pair of jeans. So I got those Voyage jeans on Depop, you would have seen at the beginning of the vlog, and I was having a look through Depop again and found a brand new pair of weekday rail jeans with the tag still on, in my size. So the rail jeans are like a proper wide straight leg, huge. These are a leg 30 and they just touch the floor, so I just want literally like maybe a centimetre taken off, and I want to talk to my tailor about how or if you can kind of keep the original hem. I know it's a thing because my friend Neelam, she has vintage Levi's that she gets tailored and has the original hem kept on them. And because you know, like if you get jeans tailored, they just like slice that off and then they just sew it, and you end up with quite a very flat hem. You don't get this sort of like thick, like nice rippled effect. It probably won't be as noticeable on white. It's quite noticeable on blue denim and black because you get a sort of fading pattern, and I always think it's such a shame to lose that when you get your jeans tailored. But Neelam was talking about how they do this technique where they kind of like cut this hem off and then they like reattach it. Blew my mind. I didn't even realise that was a thing, but it has given me a lot of faith in finding the right pair of Levi's 501s, because if my tailor can keep the original hem, then I think that will be great. So yeah, they're the 3 pairs of trousers, and I shall see you all when I next vlog something. Okay, what was supposed to be a very brief nosy in one of my favourite bookshops actually turned into a sort of good 45-minute browse. I've left there with quite a good haul of books actually. I think I got 4 books, including that Juan Miro one that you would have just seen, a Lucian Freud sketchbook one, a Henry Moore one that's still sealed, so I've got no idea what's inside. These things always happen when you least expect it. I'm just going to sign off the vlog by sharing some joyous news. The Corley Studio jacket has arrived. If you watched my wardrobe wishlist video last week, you will know that this jacket was on its way. I could have cried when I opened up the box. It is absolutely stunning. The pictures on the website do not do this jacket justice. I don't even think this video clip will do this jacket justice. It is beautiful. The cut is absolutely gorgeous. The quality, the craftsmanship, it is just, well, I will obviously talk about it in great depth in next month's wardrobe wish list. And I'm really, really glad I went with the black, because I've been styling with a few things, like testing it out with some other trousers, and it works really, really well with lots of things that I have. So very pleased I decided on black. So I've gone for an all black look today, head to toe, Arquette beanie, the one I always wear. Of course, Corley Studio jacket, Cos jeans. These are like the tapered high rise, I think. So they've got a slight kind of balloon leg to them. And then my tabby boots, which you will have also seen in the wardrobe wishlist video. And then I'm going to put on some black sunnies and a black handbag. I'm going to go full black today because there's some really nice textures going on here, which I think make it look quite interesting. Anyway, there's going to be a little bit of a pause on the vlogs just because I'm working on a couple of other projects. That means I can't really commit to consistent vlogging over the next couple of weeks. I will be vlogging, it's just the editing that I don't really have time to sit down and do. So I will try my best to have a vlog up next weekend. If it won't be next weekend, it will be some point the week after. So you'll probably have to wait maybe like a maximum of 2 weeks. That will be the absolute max, and then videos will resume again. So until then, I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you all soon.